but each rider is responsible for cleaning their own horse. So before they come in, you saw them cleaning the shoes before. They got to brush them, they got to wash them before they go out in the field, so they're presentable.
Okay.
Yeah. So every day they're doing something with them. Like this is an example of before you even could go out, we spend an hour in here.
Oh wow.
And he's got to clean all that stuff out. There'll be feces and stuff like that in there, stuff they walk on. And when he's done doing that, he'll brush them down, clean them up so he looks nice, and then putting all the equipment on is about another good 20 minutes.
They got mane and tail, just like in a beauty spa. That's what it's intended for. But I don't know why.
I know, but I'm like, we have gallons of all the things that make a lot of money.
That was a family scene.
And then they take that stuff and they put it all over the horse's foot, and it hardens it. So when they put the shoes on it, the horse on the bottom of his feet has no feeling in it, so that's why they can scrape it like that. But around the side, it's coarse enough where it hurts them, so they got to put that coating on it to make it harder. So when
so he's relaxed, right?
Yeah, he's chilling. He's cool. He's relaxing.
I know.
Yeah, he may. That's right. They're like all ex-race horses, which is an interesting fact. Yeah. They either were injured or their owner can't use them anymore.
I'm glad to know that, because I was always just like, where did Fisher like?
Well, some of them go, what are you thinking? But and another interesting fact is the Amish built this whole place, all the woodwork and everything. Yeah.
Well, how long has it been here?
This has been here about, I'd have to confirm that, but about 16 years, 15 years. They moved from Green Street. We got a funny picture. We open up all these things, gates, and all the horses' heads come out, and they're all like, look, and it looks like they're like,
Wait, I'm going to take a picture of you. Sometimes my camera gets a little funny. There we go. Oh, you're smiling at me. You're smiling at me. Is that what it is? Nice.
I told them the story about your sister, your daughter, and about her cancer, and how you say it's one of the least recognized of all the cancers. And she'd like to hear a little bit about it. Quick, or a little email to her.
It's the GBM, glioblastoma. It's the survival rate is only about 70%, I believe. Usually survive 18 to 24 months. Survival rate for 5 years plus is like 6%. So my sister made it to 17 and a half months. There's no cure for it. It never goes into remission.
And where should we see from here?
University Hospital. Oh, well, Rutgers, UMD&J. My sister went through radiation. First she went through 2 surgeries, then radiation, then chemo, intense chemo, and Novacure, the Optune therapy cap, which did cause burns sometimes, because it is electricity going into your brain. And she did it for a year and a half, and we stopped treatments when the tumors came back, and they said because of their position and the depth of where they're located, there was nothing they could do. So she would have went right on the table. So it was just a matter of quality of life. And not once through the whole 17 months, and I was discussing this with my mom yesterday. From the moment she was diagnosed until the moment she took her last breath, not once did my sister shed a tear. Not once did she say life's unfair. Not once did she question God and say, she took it all in stride. She did everyone. She did everyone.
First of all, this is a very unique experience. How did you, when they approached you about doing something like this, were you just shocked?
This is where Rosalie comes in. Where is Rosalie? Oh, she's speaking to the gentleman. Well, my best friend Rosalie just happened to be overhearing my sister during a conversation that she wanted a horse. And her birthday was coming up, and she kept going on. And I want a horse. Well, honey, what do you want me to do? I mean, I don't know what to do. So Rosalie, being Rosalie, you know, was spoiling everyone, called me the next day and said, you know what, I'm getting her horse. And she made a few phone calls to try to get the mounted unit to go out to our home by her birthday, but the timing was off. And celebrated her 43rd birthday. We had a nice party at the house. And the next day, my sister, she started going. Started to go. No cognitive. It was like a semi-comatose, in and out of it state. So she never got to see the horses.
Were you close with your sister?
Yes, I was.
Go ahead.
Can you describe like her personality for us, or what you'll?
Quiet, humble, meek, very soft-spoken, eager to please, always with a smile on her face. A true warrior, because not once throughout the whole fight did she say, life's not fair, why me, why am I going through this? Not once did she shed a tear, not once did she ever say, I'm afraid, or I want to give up.
Any idea, did you know she had an affinity for horses?
Yeah, since we were little, yeah. We used to see the mounted units, like the show on Broadway, and she used to kind of make me come outside and sit with her, only because she knows I was the loud one. So if they came close by, I would be the one to say, hey, come over here. I was the bold one. So, but they never came down the street. They were always on patrol. And also for the Puerto Rican parade in Newark, like late 80s. What was that, Mom? Late 80s?
Yeah.
Late 80s? Early 90s?
No, 2000 something.
Yeah. Late 80s, 90s. She would always stand close to the sidewalk, hoping that maybe if one came closer by, you know, you could just run your hand and touch one. But she never got the opportunity.
And she, because she was autistic, right?
No, she was not.
She was?
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know the story.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I was told that she was. That's why I asked.
She was not.
But did she like when she was getting close to passing? Was she living at home?
Yes, she was on hospice at home.
Okay, and I mean, I'm sorry.
How old did you say she was?
43. She turned 43 on January 8th, and on January 9th is when she I never saw my sister open her eyes again after that.
And what was her illness? Could you tell us?
Glioblastoma, stage 4, a very aggressive, treatment-resistant brain cancer, brain tumor. It's what they call, there's a reason the butterfly is a symbol for the brain cancer. It's because that specific cancer or brain tumor usually spreads out through the brain like a butterfly, almost like it had tentacles. So,
And when was she diagnosed with that?
August 2017.
Wow.
August 7th?
August the 1st.
August
2017.
1st. August 1st, she went to the hospital ER when she fainted in public. August 3rd, they did the surgery. August 7th, we got the diagnosis. And when they told her, of course my mom got emotional, but my sister did not. She didn't. She says, oh wow, I didn't get good news. That's why I say, you know, she's my hero. She's a true warrior. You know, grown men wouldn't be able to do that. You know, and that makes me really proud and honored to have said, you know what, that's my sister.
I gotta ask you, when the police reached out to you and said, hey, we want to do this tribute today for your sister.
Shocking. I was a little shocked, surprised, but happy because she didn't get her wish in life. But between Rosalie and the Newark police, they made sure that she got it in her passing.
What's the message you have for police today?
Keep up the good work, you know, and they're so underestimated, you know, like they don't see what they should see. The community doesn't see what they should see, you know, that when they're really needed for moments like this, they're there. They're really there to help the community and to help the fellow Newark residents.
What would your sister say about this day?
She wouldn't say anything because she was quiet, very well. She would say, Kenya, you speak. I don't want to talk to anyone. Because I'm the one, she says, with the gift of gab. So she probably would have answered 1 or 2 questions, but I think she wouldn't be standing here. She'd probably be out there, like, looking for one of the horses to touch or admire.
And what are you guys gonna do with the horseshoe that you get? Where are you gonna put it? Haven't figured it out yet?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Haven't
Someplace
figured that
special
one out.
though.
Absolutely.
Can we talk to you?
Sure.
I understand that
This
you
is
were pretty,
Rosalie.
you were the catalyst behind all of this.
She sure enough was.
Yes, I was. I don't want to take too much credit for it because, you know, it was a sad situation that, you know, that made all of this happen. And I never thought in a million years that this would cause the magnitude that it did. You know, my wish was just for her to see the horses and for her wish to come true. And, you know, I want to thank the Newark Police Department, Chris, in particular, for his, you know, dedication and tribute to Marilyn. It means a lot to the family. Kenya and I have been friends since we were little girls, and you know, our family's hurting because Marilyn is not here anymore. But by this event today, we see that Marilyn always impacted the world. She was humble. She's our angel, and you know, and to my friend Kenya, she's actually the foundation of her family. She keeps everything going, and you know, I just want to thank you all for being here, and
Thank you
we are
very
truly
much
honored
for acknowledging the story.
We are truly honored to, you know, be here and accept this on Marilyn's behalf. Thank you so much.
What was your role in getting this, having her wish come true?
So I spoke to Kenya, and she sent me the video of Marilyn asking for the horses, and you know, it touched my heart. And being an ex-employee of the Department of Health of the City of Newark, I reached out to a few friends that I have, and through the office of Aníbal Ramos, I was referred to Chris, and I sent Chris an email, and Chris made it all happen. And again, I would have never thought that this would be this today. Never in a million years. We're gonna do the presentation.
He's not going to be.
So this is Commander. He's 22 years old. He's one of our oldest horses we've had here. He's been with us since 2006. So what we came up with when we heard this story, Commander was actually the horse that would go by Marilyn's house every day on post in the Broadway townhomes where they lived. And this was the horse that she would look for and wave to, and that brought her such joy. So it was a tribute that we were able to still have Commander here. We were lucky being a 22-year-old horse. Usually they're retired by this age. And when the story came about, I was able to look up some paperwork and find that this was the actual horse that would walk the beat around Marilyn's house. So to commemorate that and to commemorate the Rodriguez family, on behalf of the City of Newark, the Mayor Roz Baraka, Police Director Anthony F. Ambrose, and Chief Darnell Henry, I want to present the Rodriguez family with the actual horseshoe that Commander would be wearing or may have wore at the time. And it says, Newark Police Mounted Unit, salute the memory of Marilyn Rodriguez. And we want to give that to Miss Rodriguez and her family to keep at their home.
This is very beautiful. Thank you so much, Chris.
And in turn, we asked the Rodriguez family to give us a picture of Marilyn, which we're going to in turn hang in the barn to memorialize her care and love she had for our horses.
And why would this horse go by her house every day?
It was patrol. We're one of the only mounted units in the state of New Jersey that still send horses out on patrol. So that was his beat. Just like a cop would walk the beat, this horse and his rider would control the beat of the Broadway townhomes and walk through past her house every day. And to think that this young girl, when she was going through what she went through, was to sit in her window or sit on her porch every day and wait for these horses to come by. And that in her later life, when she wasn't feeling good and she was near the end, that's still on her mind were the horses. Now, let's not forget, the horses were some years have gone by since when she was when these horses were by the Broadway townhouses, and now when she passed. So for her to have that memory 10 years later, 12 years later, and in her last moment, she thought about the horse. It was a touching story. This is a standard bred. They're all male standard breds. We get them from the Standard Bred Foundation. They're donated to us. We don't pay for them. And they're usually ex-race horses. You can see some of them will have visible injuries, which are not conducive to racing anymore, but they are conducive to what we do. So every horse we get, we have to see if they're fit to be a police horse. And luckily, he's been one of our superstars all these years. And he's going to be getting retired soon. So this is also a fitting tribute to him as well.
It is. So when would we see these horses, ideally?
They go out every day, Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekends, depending on the crime trends or if they have any functions going on. They're out, 10 of them are out a day. We have 10 riders with 12 horses. And they patrol the downtown area. They patrol areas where community policing is important, which is a lot of parts of the city. There's studies out that say one officer on a horse is the equivalent of 10 walking posts in a community because of the height and the amount of ground they're able to cover in a short distance. And you know what the most important thing is? There's such a community-oriented function of the police department. Little kids come up to us, and even adults come up to us, and it breaks the continuity of the adversarial image that people have police in the community. They talk to the horse first, they won't even look at us. Then they'll have to ask, can I pet it? And then they'll pet it, and then they'll say, hey, what kind of horse is it? It opens up a whole other dialogue. And it really works out good for us. It's a strong component. The mayor, the police director, the chief, they're strong components of the mounted squad. They do whatever they can to facilitate our needs. So 2 horses don't go out. We try to rotate them, but every horse every day is exercised, taken care of. And we're in the process of building a new facility. It'll be up in about a year.
A new one? Are you going to have additional?
Brand new facility, state-of-the-art. Mayor, police director, and the chief are building us
So we'll see more of these horses out there? Would you?
Well, they're out there.
Like more? Are you going to?
Oh, we'd like to get more. We'd like to. Yeah.
Okay.
If we could fit them, we would take them. We were in contact every day with the Standard Bred Foundation, who takes in horses, nonprofit, and looks for homes for them so they don't go to kill shelters. And they hopefully find a home for them. A lot of them we'd like to just put out to pasture where they could just roam and be free after that. We figure they gave us X amount of good years of paving the streets of Newark.
Like that.
Motorcycle guys get jealous, don't say nothing, because the horses get all the attention.
So people just walk up to them and just pet the horses?
Just come right up to them. Well, they ask first because they're intimidated, they're scared.
Yeah.
But yeah, before you know it, they're like Kenya is, and can't stop touching.